Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Macchiatomade, and I'm here with another video. And in this video, I did a super simple cut crease. So if you like what you see, stick around because I did give a couple of tips on what I did to get me here. And if you like it, go ahead and press that like button. And leave me a comment letting me know what looks you guys would like to see on this channel in the near future. Let's get right into this look. So starting off with my brows, what I'm doing right now is just grooming some of the gel that I put on my brush to kind of get it throughout, to disperse it through my brows so that they stay still. These are the products that I'll be using for today. Starting with my Maybelline Tattoo Studio Pod. I'm just using that to outline my brows. So the lower line or the lower portion of my brows with the upper portion. And then I'm gonna go back in with that dark brown pencil to just fill in the space. And I personally just do this for this look to just have it soften it up a bit so that it doesn't look too pasted on. Following that, I'm just concealing under my brows right now to just get it as sharp as I would normally like them to be. And then I'm also gonna conceal the upper portion, just making sure that I don't bring that concealer too much to the front of my eyebrow. So using this dense brush, I'm just going to use that to disperse the concealer from around my eyebrows so that when I put my foundation on, I don't really have to blend too much of that away. So with my Cali Chic palette, I'm going to go in with the color Marina. And I'm going to use that color to highlight under my brow bone to make it stand out for my next color. So with my Vintage Dawn palette, I'm going to go in with the darkest brown that they have in that palette with a detail brush, and I'm gonna go back and forth in my crease area with that color. Okay, so now this is the trick behind the cut crease. The brush matters. You need a really flat brush. So this brush that I'm showing you guys right now, I bought it off of Amazon. It's an acrylic brush, and I customized it to make sure that the brush was as flat as possible so that when I got to this point that you're seeing right now, the brush did pretty much all of the work. All I had to do was just very lightly tap the brush in the area that I wanted the cut crease to be in. Also, depending on how far out you want to cut your crease, like say if you wanted to do it only in the middle, or you're doing it like me from the beginning of your tear duct to pretty much like mid-lid, you have to remember that in order to get a nice, perfectly even circle, you have to rotate your brush. So what I ended up doing where I messed up is I kept my brush in the same direction. So when I went around this area, you can see how the curve or that arch looked a little bit out of whack. So with this palette here, I really like it. It has a lot of like peachy nude colors in it. I'm going to use this palette with a small shadow brush to kind of set the cut crease that I just did. And I'm using this brush specifically because it's so small that it can get into that area without me worrying about the product that's on the brush overflowing past the line that we just created that's so sharp and neat. With my fluffy brush, I'm just using that to blend out the end of my cut crease with that color that I had put in the crease initially so they can blend a little bit together. In this portion, we're going to do a little play on liner by taking that liner brush with this P. Louise base in the color Hint of Frost. And I'm putting that on my palette, my makeup palette, so that I can dip the liner brush in it as much as I can so that when I actually start to draw my line, there's enough product on it that it's not just smearing across my eye. One thing I will say about this step right here for the blue liner is to really take your time, because we're not going to fill in the space between our lash line and where we're actually drawing the liner. So in order to avoid having to start over, I would do this in very short strokes and take as much time as I need so that I don't have to get it or do it again. So now lashes. The thing about lashes for me is my natural lashes are very curly. So it gets very annoying to put on lashes because I'm constantly fighting with the curl of my natural lash. But these lashes that I'm about to put on, I got them from the pharmacy. They're very simple. And what I did was I lined my natural eyes with some eyelash glue as well as the lash, so by the time I had to put it on my eyes, it wasn't fumbling as much it would usually do. So all that's on my face is just a mattifying primer. And the foundation that I'm going to be using today is this Maybelline's Dream Urban Cover. I don't know how I feel about this foundation. As you can see, it's more on the liquidy consistency. I am also noticing that it has a very dewy finish. I personally don't like finishes like that. I'm more of a matte person, but I wanted to give this a try to just kind of step out of what I usually use, like I said, which are matte foundations. And it's not bad. Once you work it in, you get somewhere. So this is the Born This Way sculpting concealer in the color Butterscotch. And the reason why I'm using such a bright color is because my foundation was darker than usual. But I'm only putting a little bit because this concealer goes a long way. So to help with the distribution of a very thick and bright concealer, I recommend going in with the softest damp blender that you have. What that does is it picks up the product and it helps you move it so that it's not concentrated in one area. So because my concealer was so bright, I'm going to have to add that warmth back into my skin. I'm using this Fenty Beauty matchstick in the color Espresso. And I'm just going to put that on my cheekbones, my temple, and under my chin. Taking that same damp beauty blender, I'm gonna press it into my foundation powder. This is the black Opal in the color dark, and I'm gonna press that in all of the areas that I had contoured that are looking a little bit castish, like ashy kind of. And then once I get it set into those places, I'm gonna go back and press it in any places that I feel are way too shiny or dewy that I want to make matte. This is a point in the look where you can intensify the look by changing the color of the liner you use. You could use black like me, or you can use white to make the eye look a little bit brighter. What I ended up doing was I used my black with a blue gel paint liner to give it a dark blue kind of look. So I can't even front. Like, this is one of my favorite parts in doing my makeup is my lips. But the thing about it is I really have the same type of lip combination, and it's always some variation of it being nude with gloss. But for some reason, I just get so much satisfaction from just putting gloss. So right now, I'm lining my lips with a dark brown pencil from NYX. And then I'm going to go in with their butter gloss in the color, I believe it was Fortune Cookie. And then I'm going to top that again with another gloss to just give it a really juicy, voluptuous look. Guys, so for highlight, this is the Fenty Beauty highlighter in Diamond Bomb. And I bought a small sample size because I did not know how I was going to feel about this highlighter. But no lie, this highlighter is mad fire. I'm not even going to lie about that. But it looks a little intimidating, but it goes on so subtly. So at this point of the look, we're pretty much halfway done. What I added to this look to just give it a little extra pop is I just placed some eyelash glue right under the balls of my eyes as centered as possible so that I can add some rhinestones to just give the look an extra pop. So this is our final result. I hope that the tips that were in this video helped you recreate a cut crease of your own. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know if there are any looks that you want me to recreate in the comments, and click that subscribe button so that we can meet here again. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.